Okay, let's tackle a question that's at the very heart of the global economy. It sounds almost childishly simple, but the answer, well, the answer is a paradox that's going to change how you see pretty much everything about money.
I mean, seriously, just think about that for a second. The United States, Japan, Germany, China, every single major economy owes these unbelievable sums of money. So if everyone's in debt, who's holding all the IOUs? Are we in debt to aliens? Some secret bank on Mars? The truth is, the answer is a lot closer to home, and frankly, a whole lot weirder.
To get a sense of the scale we're dealing with, just look at this number. That's $315 trillion. It's so big, it's almost meaningless, right? To put it in perspective, that is nearly 3 times the value of every single good and service produced on the entire planet in a whole year.
Okay, let's zoom in a bit to make it feel more real. The US national debt is over $38 trillion. That's the highest it has ever been. But you know what the truly insane part is? The speed. That number is climbing by $1 trillion every 100 days. $1 trillion every 100 days.
So, back to the big question. Where is all this money owed? Well, the simple and kind of unsettling answer is, the world owes the money to itself. See, in our modern economy, debt isn't just a burden. It's the actual architecture. It's the scaffolding that the entire system is built on.
And to really wrap your head around how we ended up in this planetary-sized IOU, we have to go back, way back. Because the whole idea of national debt, it wasn't born in some bank. It was born on the battlefield.
Yeah, this journey from the battlefield to the trading floor is where absolutely everything changed. It's how a country borrowing money went from being a sign of desperation to a symbol of power and credibility.
So the key moment was back in 1694. England was fighting a massive war against France, and they were basically out of gold. So the king went to a bunch of wealthy merchants with a deal. Lend us money now, and in return, we'll give you a piece of all future taxes, forever. And just like that, the first government bond was created. This idea was an absolute game changer. Suddenly, being in debt didn't mean you were failing, it meant you were powerful.
And this is the little invention at the heart of it all, the government bond. It's really just a promise, an IOU from a government. But, and this is the crucial part, it's a promise that you can buy and sell. And that one detail turned a government's debt into an asset. And that asset became the foundational building block for our entire financial world.
Okay, so let's fast forward to today. To crack this mystery, let's use the biggest debtor of them all as our case study, the United States. So who actually holds all $38 trillion of that debt?
Well, this is where a huge myth gets busted. Who owns America's debt? For the most part, Americans do. Roughly 2/3 of it is held by our own banks, our pension funds, insurance companies, even the Federal Reserve itself.
And when you look at foreign countries, Japan is actually the largest holder, followed by China. Now you hear all the time that the US is in debt to China, right? Let's put that in perspective. China holds about $800 billion worth. That's a tiny fraction of the total debt, only about 2%.
So you see what's really going on here? It's a closed loop. The US government issues bonds. American institutions, like your retirement fund, buy them. American taxpayers pay taxes, and that money funds the interest on those bonds, which then flows right back into those American retirement accounts. The creditor is literally just a reflection of the debt.
And this all leads us to the most counterintuitive and probably the most important secret in the entire global financial system. And once you get this, it changes everything you think you know about debt.
Think about it like this. When you or I take out a loan for a house, the goal is to pay back the original amount, right? Get the principal down to zero. Governments just don't do that. When an old bond is due, they simply issue a new bond to pay for the old one. It's called rolling over the debt.
Let this one sink in, because it's the whole game. Government debt is not designed to ever be paid back. It's designed to be rolled over, forever. It's less like a loan and more like a permanent subscription service. The goal isn't to get to zero. The goal is to keep making the interest payments forever.
So why would anybody go along with this? Because to the global financial system, a US Treasury bond isn't a risky liability. It's the opposite. It's considered the safest, most trusted asset on planet Earth. Pension funds depend on it, banks use it as collateral. It's basically treated as if it's better than cash. To really understand how deep this goes, let's just run a little thought experiment. Imagine some political miracle happens and the US government actually pays off every single dollar of its debt. $38 trillion. Gone. Wiped clean. What would happen the next day?
Well, the result wouldn't be a party. It would be a complete and total catastrophe. Paying off the debt would destroy the global economy. Why? Because those government bonds are the foundation of our money supply. Without them, the world's most trusted asset would vanish into thin air, banks would have no primary collateral, and the whole system, which runs on this perpetual motion machine of debt, would just seize up and grind to a halt.
So if the debt is never actually meant to be repaid, what in the world holds all this together? And more importantly, what does it cost us, the people living inside this massive system?
The entire $315 trillion global system is built on one single invisible foundation: belief, just collective confidence, the trust that major governments will always be able to make their interest payments by rolling over their debt. As long as that trust holds firm, the numbers can just keep getting bigger.
But what happens when that belief breaks? We've seen it happen. In Greece, when investors panicked, the result was brutal austerity and mass unemployment. In Argentina, constant defaults have trapped the country in a decades-long crisis. And in Sri Lanka, running out of money to pay the interest led to total economic and political collapse. When the trust fades, the abstract numbers cause very real, very human suffering.
And there's another huge consequence. When we say we owe it to ourselves, that's only half true. All those interest payments on all that debt, they act like a massive, continuous transfer of wealth. The money flows from the broad base of taxpayers and workers, and it goes upwards to the institutions and wealthy investors who own the bonds. This is a huge reason why, as global debt has exploded, so has global inequality. The system is designed this way.
So in the end, the ultimate secret is that there was never a plan for repayment. The plan is just to keep the world believing in the promise. It's a system that has fueled centuries of incredible growth, but it's all built on that delicate balance of confidence. And so the final question isn't really who the creditor is, it's for how much longer can that confidence last?